available command. Whether I am able to exit the program, if I am able to book myself into a slot, if I am able to cancel my booking and whatnot. And then it should tell me in detail what each command does and which arguments are needed for that command, right? And then output must be standard output. The first thing you did here at Within Code was the Hello World project, which kind of is an example of a standard output. By you printing Hello World on the terminal, that's a standard output. So it should display everything on the terminal, right? And then the coding standard has been preached in each and every page on the curriculum site. 4 spaces for indentation, and then not more than 80 characters in one line, right? And then you use the camel case, which is lowercase with underscore for variables and functions. One thing you also need to do is TDD, right? And I'm going to preach TDD because during my personal experience while I was a student at Within Code, we did TDD and we did code clinics, right? So there's this thing which we say there's something called the Murphy law, right? If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. So during demos, trust me, there will be a Murphy law, right? And if you don't have tests, just know that a lot will go wrong, right? From my personal experience during my final demo for code clinics, so everything was working the day before, right? And then we implemented tests. Someone somewhere somehow removed one test, right? And everything was good, everything was passing. We said, everything is fine. Come demo day, we were deleting a slot. No one booked themselves into a slot. Delete the slot. The slot was not deleted. How? We don't know. Only to find out that the test was deleted. That means somehow the test was failing, and then someone was like, I'm going to delete the test so no one can see that this is not working. And I also personally found out during the demo. So TDD is important to make sure that your project functions as expected, and so that you can spot when the program is starting to do funny things. Nah, this is not part of this. Oh, wait, sorry, guys. Okay. Collaboration and workflow. Okay, I think all of us are now familiar with GitLab, right? So GitLab, one thing I can tell you about GitLab never deletes. It never deletes. Anything you push to GitLab, somewhere, somehow, it's always going to be there. So that's why we use like GitLab, GitHub, and Gitbucket and such tools for version control. So that if maybe someone does a major change to our code and pushes that code and it starts breaking our code, we can always roll back to the previous working code, right? Because sometimes it happens that someone pushes something last minute. Let's say we tell you that the deadline is on a Friday at 5 p.m. At 20 to 5, someone pushes major change and it breaks all of the code. We can still revert to the last working code. Yes, we're going to lose maybe some of the functionality, but then we can revert to last working code using GitLab. And then there's issue boards, something you haven't used yet in GitLab. There's issue boards and also something called a Mario board, right? So with the Mario board, you will be required for you to break down your projects into manageable chunks so that you can actually implement it, right? So there's different part of the projects, right? Booking a slot, canceling a slot, whatnot and whatnot. So you break the project into those smaller pieces so that you can actually implement it, right? And spread it among each other. And then with your backlog, you're gonna have your tickets, and then you're gonna have tags in your backlog, right? So that you can actually track the ticket, whether is maybe my colleague Mpho, has he taken the ticket, and how far is he with the ticket? Is he still developing the ticket? Is the ticket under review or whatnot, right? So it helps you with your project management, tracking the project of how far are we into our project. And then also retrospectives, right? Uh, there's something called daily stand-ups, retrospectives and daily stand-ups. So with daily stand-ups, every day, I think some of you have seen Mxolisi, Lindo, and or Asimanye in a meeting every morning. Every morning by 9 a.m. they are in a meeting every morning. So those meetings should be on your calendar. Your daily stand-ups should be on your calendar, and you shouldn't skip your daily stand-ups. So what happens in the daily stand-up? Let's say I was implementing the booking slot functionality. So while I'm still working on that during the course of the week, I give updates on how far that is, right? So that the team can know that, okay, he's so far with this one, and maybe someone needs something from the booking side, right? And they can tell me that, okay, my blocker is this because it's on this side and I need it done, right? So that we can strategize on which functionalities have more priority, and we can have like a open door policy to our projects. Everyone can know how far is the project, how far is each implementation, right? And then on your retrospectives, which happens every Friday, right? You're gonna have your highlights. This is what I did this week. This is what I've learned. This were my blockers for the week, right? And then you can also give each other feedback on how you guys can improve. Like if maybe someone had blockers that, oh, I had blockers going through the events in the calendar, I didn't know how to do it, and then someone can just give feedback on, okay, with that one, I think this is the best way to approach it, but then you can try it. If you find a better way, it's still fine. Something like that, right? So they should, both your retrospectives, which are on each and every Friday, and your daily stand-ups should be on your calendar, right? And you should also kind of take notes on your My Robot on what each person is doing every day. And then, yeah, that's the overview of the project. So for this week, uh, I think you're gonna get comms already out that one member should actually fork a starter repo for the code clinics, which have the credentials inside a secret folder or package, and then they should add the emails for the team member inside of the team list in the TOMO file, right? And then another requirement for you for this iteration, which is iteration 0, break down the projects into smaller requirements and have them on your issue board. Add the tickets. Let's say now we broke it down and then we know that we have like 10 functionalities. We need to have tickets for those 10 functionalities, right? Piece of advice, practice to create issues with description, right? There's like a section inside your issues where you can add a description that, okay, this issue does this and this and this. So practice to do that so that if maybe someone wants to take over that issue, they can know what they need to do, right? And then by Wednesday, you should be practically done with your planning and ready to present your planning to either the SP members or your fellow students. So that we will decide whether you present to us or your fellow students review your planning, right? And then another important requirement for you is start and trying to understand how the Google Calendar API works, right? It will help you in the long run because in each and every functionality you're going to be implementing, you're going to be interacting with the Google API calendar. So each and every team member should know what that API does, how it works, right? So that's it from SP. Good luck. And do we have any questions? Do you have any question, guys? You can unmute and ask a question, or you can type it in the chats. No questions. If we don't have any questions, can we get thumbs up? Okay. What I mean by tickets, right? I'll present something real quick about tickets, right? Give me a second. And present this, eh? Do you have a okay, you have to use Python, strictly Python, nothing else. Okay, we have this part, right? When you go to your GitLab, there's plan, right? So if you click on plan, there's issues, there's issue board, right? And then milestone and whatnot, and wiki. So for the milestone and wiki for this project, you don't need to kind of focus on that. You need to focus on the issues and the issue board, right? So if I go to my issue board, I can create a new issue. As you can see, there's backlog, right? I can create a new issue, maybe let's say config API, right? So this is a ticket, basically, right? If I open this ticket, there's a description, right? It says no description. I can edit and just write config Google API. And then I save, right? So now it has the config, the Google API as a description, right? And then we can actually assign it to someone. I can assign it to myself, right? And then let's say now I'm implementing it. Since I've assigned it to myself, it's no longer in the backlog, it's at committed because I've committed myself into it. And then now I start working on it, I can move it to in progress. Now, anyone who has access to our projects can actually see that, oh, Sanele is responsible for configuring the API and they are still in progress. And then I can take it to testing once I'm done and I feel as if, okay, now I need to check whether it works properly. All of my unit tests are passing. Now I want to see whether it's functioning flawlessly, right? And then once it's done, I can move it to done. So that's the tickets and it's tickets / issues. So you can call them tickets or issues, it's still the same thing. Okay. And guys, what I'd advise you is for you to kind of read the curriculum as a team. You can read it individually and then also go through it as a team so that you can actually speak on what is required from you, speak on all of the project requirements, and actually come up with a solid plan. If you have a solid plan, the project is going to be easy on you. But then if you don't have a solid plan, just know you're going to struggle. Just know you are going to struggle. So read through the curriculum. The curriculum has everything you need to know about the project. Are we clear? Okay. Do we have any other questions? Okay, so do okay, so how do you know the groups? So yeah, as Emmanuel just answered that, we will send you emails with the group allocations on who is in which group and which group, right? So with adding new features outside the scope of the project, right? The curriculum states clearly that there are functional features and functionalities which are bonus features on the curriculum, right? But then you are only allowed to implement such if all of the project requirements are working properly. So you can't add a new feature if the features which are required from the project don't work. You can't. You can only add if all of them are working. After the kickoff, I think, right? Police Simanye, they'll get comms for the okay, yeah, after the kickoff. There are no questions on YouTube. Ne? Okay. Any other questions? Are we all clear? Okay. Thank you for joining the kickoff, guys. Good luck on your group projects. And please, guys, don't have beef with each other. You are in a working environment, treat it as if you are at work. You can't be beefing with someone while you are at work. That's a recipe for disaster. Yes, is it recorded? Yeah, it's recorded. Yes, it's recorded. Okay, guys. Cheers, guys. Have a lovely day.